Good afternoon. I first want to extend my condolences to the family of Mr. Blackshire. The loss of life in this way under any circumstance is a tragedy. His family has been notified, and I've reached out to his mother to express my personal condolences. This matter is the subject of an ongoing investigation by the Little Rock Police Department, and upon completion of this investigation, evidence will be turned over to the prosecuting attorney. And the Blackshire family has the assurances that this matter will be fully and fairly investigated. In the spirit of fairness and the recognition of the incredibly difficult and tragic circumstances of this incident, I extend the same promise to Officer Stark's family and the Little Rock Police Department. I will personally see to this matter will be fully and fairly investigated. No one is above the law. In every relationship, particularly between our law enforcement and the communities that they serve, requires accountability, clarity, and transparency. I believe that relationship between Little Rock and our law enforcement is in need of repair. We will work on two measures to help repair this relationship: independent civilian oversight through the creation of a Little Rock Civilian Review Board and a Little Rock Police Accountability Task Force. The latter is designed to conduct a comprehensive review of how our officers interact with every community member in Little Rock, and the former designed to ensure that our law enforcement remains accountable and responsive to our residents moving forward. In the aftermath of an incident like this, emotions will run high. But the Little Rock that I know and I love have seen difficult days before and have emerged better and a stronger city as a result. I expect nothing less for this time around. I'll now take any questions for the press that are present.
In terms of this investigation, do you know there had been kind of conflicting things saying that the gun was fired before the car moved, after the car moved? Is that something you've been able to determine at this point?
Due to this being an open investigation, I will allow Interim Chief Wayne Bewley to kind of give an update from the previous Friday's shooting.
Sure. On Friday, when I spoke to the media, I acknowledged then that the car did move and the officer did end up getting struck by the car and received injuries. The shots were fired basically simultaneously at that moment. And that's just about all that I can say about that at this point. And I also mentioned that the only shots fired were by our officer, our department, no shots fired by anyone else.
Was it two officers that was firing or one?
No, sir, one officer fired.
One officer?
Yes, sir.
In terms of Officer Stark's injuries, do you know the extent of those when he was struck by the car?
I do not. I know it was a lower extremity injury, and that's all that I know. He was treated and released.
You know how many shots were fired?
I do not know personally right now, and if I did, it would still be because of the open investigation that we wouldn't release that at this point yet.
What was the last officer involved shooting again?
The last one?
Yes.
We had, this is the second one this year. We had one just the week prior.
Are you concerned about when officers are chasing people and they firing their guns that somebody else might get hit?
I think that's an obvious yes. Anytime that we are in a situation where we are required to fire our weapon, it's always a concern about the backdrop and any other items that may be hit, people or items, absolutely.
Because that's a really busy street. And I know, I talked to this one guy, his truck got struck by one of the officers' bullets. And he was just driving down the street. So I'm just saying.
Always a concern, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
With both of these officer-involved shooting incidents, it seems to be the officer is by himself during these interactions and stops. Have you guys made any plans to maybe have other cops there before you guys conduct a stop or call it in?
We always have a secondary officer dispatched when we have a stop. Sometimes it doesn't happen simultaneously, and that's just the nature of the business. But when officers are sent on a call or make a traffic stop, there's always a secondary assisting officer dispatched.
So do you have an update on the officer that was injured?
I know he was treated and released, and it was injuries to lower extremities. That's all that I know. I will say that we will tomorrow send a letter to the family, letting them know that they do have a appeal right, and there's a time window. It's a time-sensitive memo, so we will get that to them, and it will secure their ability to have an appeal of this through our Civil Service Commission at the conclusion of the investigation. So we will get that to them tomorrow, so they're aware of that.
Was this incident captured on dash camera?
It was, yes, sir.
You have any new updates?
Nothing new at this point.
Could you say how many times Mr. Blackshear was hit?
I do not know that at this point.
The point of today's press conference is to make certain that the community knows that this is an open investigation. While it is an open investigation, that it will be a very fair and full investigation, and we want to make certain the community knows that as we move forward. Any more questions?
Why do you feel it's important to ensure that there's a level of fairness given that investigations will be proceeded in a fair manner?
I think it's no secret, having grown up here in Little Rock, that there are some needs for improvement between the community and the law enforcement. And so I wanted to make certain, as your mayor, that we prioritized and was very proactive in making certain the community was aware that there will be a full and very fair investigation as we move forward, and that no one is above the law.
Is this something that you're going to do with every officer involved shooting, or is this just a special announcement that you're trying to get out ahead of this early in the year?
I can't speak because I don't know the future. But I felt the need to have this press conference because I wanted to make certain that the community knew that this was going to be a fair and a full investigation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Talked to you a couple of times on the phone.
You want to answer that?
Yes.
They want to do it.
No.
Yeah, he's Monday through Friday.
What's going on? What's going on? How you doing? All right.
Usually if somebody